Hey everyone, it's Vervain jumping in before the video starts to let you know that unfortunately I filmed this entire video with my ring light off and I only noticed after I finished filming, so I just want to apologize ahead of time for the poor visual quality of this video. It's not the first time that something has gone wrong for me when I've been filming about an esoteric text, so maybe that's a sign, but for better or worse, here is my video about Slavic Witchcraft by Natasha Helvin. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Netherworld Bibliothèque. My name is Vervain and today I am in the Witchcraft section to tell you about our latest acquisition, which is Slavic Witchcraft, Old World Conjuring Spells and Folklore by Natasha Helvin. The version that we have was published in 2019 by Destiny Books. The cover design is by Aaron Davis and the symbol on the tree is by Alexandra Veleno. I will leave links in the description section in case you would like to purchase your own copy. It is available both as a hard copy book and as an audiobook. Okay, so the way that this video is going to work is that first I will just tell you a little bit about the author, Natasha Helvin. I will then do a summary of the book. So I'll tell you a little bit about who the Slavs are, and then I will tell you about all the different spells in this book. And yes, I will provide you with one example of every spell in this book. I will also leave timestamps in the description section if you just want to jump ahead. Natasha Helvin is a fifth-generation hereditary witch, both through her mother's side of the family and her father's side of the family. She grew up in a small, secluded rural town in the Soviet Union, and she lived there until she was 18. She spent a lot of time exploring and playing in the woodlands around her village, and she grew up seeing her mother and grandmother regularly work magic. So for her, magic is just a normal part of everyday life. Later, she decided to write the book Slavic Witchcraft out of nostalgia. She really missed the freedom that came with living in a rural area and the way that magic was woven into that rural lifestyle. So nostalgia for this lifestyle is what prompted her to write this book. I just want to start this section of the video by saying that I am not a historian or an anthropologist. In this section of the video, I am just going to be giving you a quick summary of the Slavic people as told by Natasha Helvin. Alrighty, so the Slavic people are an ancient tribe of Europeans whose territory covered present-day Russia, Belarus, Ukraine, and the Balkans. The Old Believers within the Slavs accepted that the four elements, air, fire, earth, and water, were the purest forms of natural magic, and that incorporating these elements into your spell work could fortify your spells. They also worshipped a pantheon of gods, the highest of which was Perun. He was a god of many things, including the sky, storms, thunder, and lightning that will be important later. Natasha Helvin then briefly goes through the major gods in this pantheon and what they were responsible for. She says that after a few hundred years, there was a schism between the Old Believers and the New Believers. The New Believers wanted to incorporate some new gods into the pantheon, whereas the Old Believers did not want to accept these new gods. Moving forward into circa 990 Anno Dominus, we have Prince Vladimir of Kievan Rus, and he largely Christianized the Slavic territories. However, pagan beliefs were difficult to stamp out, so in some instances Christianity and paganism coexisted, and in other cases Orthodox Christianity incorporated some elements of pagan beliefs or old believer traditions into its practices. So for example, Perun's Day is traditionally July 20th. In Orthodox Christianity, this became Elijah's Day after Saint Elijah, and the fact that Elijah rides through the sky on a fiery chariot during thunderstorms. So this is considered to be an association with Perun and Saint Elijah. Before I go any further, I am pronouncing it Perun because that is how it is written. I have tried to look at some written texts, I have tried to listen to some audio files here at the Netherworld Bibliothèque, but our collection is somewhat wanting. We have texts from all over the multiverse of different varieties, different qualities. So if you can correct my pronunciation of Perun, please do let me know in the comment section. Old believers think there are 6 places where your magic is most powerful. They are ruins, nature, in direct sunlight, during the darkness, cemeteries, and churches. Natasha Helvin goes on to explain why each one of these places is so powerful, but if you want to know, you're just going to have to read the book for yourself. The only thing that I will say is that burial places are significant and so powerful, not because of all the dead who are buried there, but because of all the mourning that goes on there. She says that every person who goes and cries and mourns and grieves adds their thought and their emotion to the space, and that is what makes cemeteries such a powerful place for spell work. Natasha also distinguishes between sorcerers and sorceresses. She says that there is a difference between what each one can do. She doesn't actually elaborate on what the difference is, she just states there is a clear difference between sorcerers and sorceresses. So when I use either of those terms, I do use them deliberately. They are not interchangeable in this book. Anyway, so moving on to how do you become a sorcerer or a sorceress? So sometimes you are just born with these natural abilities, but sometimes they are passed on to you. Old believers think that a sorcerer or a sorceress must pass on their belief and that they will be tormented and not allowed to die until they do so. Usually a sorceress will have an inkling that she's going to die 2 or 3 days before it happens, so she has time to make preparation and choose her successor. If for whatever reason she is not able to do this, she just throws her magic onto someone at random. Often this person doesn't know it, wasn't expecting it, and really struggles to cope suddenly with all this magical power and knowledge thrown upon them. However, if the sorceress does have time to prepare, she can engage in something called the Song of the Sorceress. So this is when she has chosen a successor, and at nighttime, from night until the cockerel starts to grow to say that it's morning, she will tell all that she knows about magic to her successor. The successor is not allowed to record it in any way, they just have to memorize it. And to make it easier to memorize, a sorceress will often tell a story or an anecdote of some kind that it carries a message or the moral of the story. And that is the way that the magic is passed down. Sorcerers have something similar, not exactly the same, but again, if you're interested, I'm not going to give you all the information. You'll just have to read it yourself. So now moving on to what I suspect everyone is really interested in, and that is the spells. This is a really extensive list of spells. I watched the Den of the Wanderers review of this audiobook, and she said that the spell section of the book took about 5 hours. So that should give you an idea of how much information is included. So let's start with the love spells. This is a comprehensive list covering everything from platonic love and respect spells, in general having good luck in love, how to attract a particular person, how to detract or push away an unwanted suitor. Basically, you name it, Natasha Helvin has a spell for it. So now at random, I'm just going to pick one and I'm going to read it out to you. I'm having the same problem that I had in my Book of Saint Cyprian video. If you've watched that, when I got to the part where I tried to read a spell, I kept getting tongue-tied, which maybe would suggest that I shouldn't do this, but as I said before, I'm too stupid to stop. So let me try again. I am trying to tell you about the love spell by the full moon. During the full moon, light a pink candle. Put 3 lily blossoms in a glass bowl filled with water. Put his photograph on the bottom with your full name written 7 times on the back. Inhale the scent of the lilies and read the following charm. On the far shore there is a garden in bloom, where bees fly and pollinate flowers. As the fragrance of flowers attracts these bees, so this person's name will be attracted to me, my name here. Let it continue to draw towards me so long as the garden continues to bloom. So shall it be. Take the lilies out and dry them in a dark place. Keep them there so long as the charm is working properly. I did it! So now let's move on to money, wealth, and career spells. Once again, this is a comprehensive list. There are spells to make money, to be lucky in business, to attract customers to your business, to impress your boss. So I've just picked a couple of spells to read out to you. Let me do that. So this is just a really simple one which says gain money with a magnet. To gain money, put 9 of your hairs in a red flannel pouch along with a large bill and a small magnet. Keep this pouch secret and safe. That's it, short and sweet. My only sort of criticism about this spell is that it says that you need to put in a large bill. But if you're trying to attract money, I think your problem is that you don't have a large bill to begin with. So that's my only criticism. But quite a short spell, possibly there's a flaw in it. So that is why I'm now going to read you a second spell for career, money, and wealth. Improve your financial situation. To improve your financial situation, write the amount of money you want to receive on a piece of paper. Fold the paper 3 times, add it to $1 bill, and bury it in a flower pot filled with earth taken from 3 crossroads. Plant it in a pot either of geraniums or marigolds. As the flowers grow, so will your wealth. So now let's move on to protection spells. Once again, this is a comprehensive list. There are things to protect you, things to protect your house from bad luck, things to protect you in case your house is haunted, things that you can do to protect your loved ones. So I have a spell on page 109 for protection from curses and jinxes. I think that's pretty generic. I think most people could apply that. So here we go. Spell against curses and jinxes. Speak the following words over a lump of salt. To everyone who seeks to curse or jinx me, let them have salt in their eyes, hot sand from burning fire. Such people are not recognized by God. Clouds do not open for them. Bright stars do not break through. There is no dawn in the morning sky, and the moon is hidden away. By my words, by my name, say your name here, do not hurt, do not harm, do not destroy, do not devour. So may it be. Carry a few pinches of this salt in your pocket. So I chose this one because it's pretty simple. It's just some salt and some words. I know some spells are very tricky in terms of get this ingredient, it has to be this time of day, blah, blah, blah. But I think this one is pretty cheap and straightforward. So that's why I chose to include it. In the section about spells for your house and home, you'll find spells for moving house, stopping family members from arguing, cleansing your home of vermin, protecting against theft, and even one to have someone hurry up and come over. So if you have invited them and they are just taking their sweet time, they're not punctual, here's a quick spell that you can try. Spell for a slowpoke. If you are waiting for a person to arrive but they are not turning up, stick a pin into the handle of a broom from above and place it in the front door. This simple sorcery will make the slowpoke hurry. The section about spells for your health has spells both for good health in general and spells to cure or prevent against specific illnesses. I've chosen to read you one that is just to cure any disease in general because I think that would be universal. A spell to cure any illness. To cure any illness, write its name on a piece of paper. Then cut off 1 letter each day and burn it, saying the following charm. As this word dwindles, so does its meaning dwindle. The name of the illness can also be written on a tear-off calendar. Write the name in full on the first page of the calendar. Then write it without the last letter on the next page. Then without the last 2 letters on the next, and so on. The sick person must be the one to tear off and burn the calendar sheets. The final section of Slavic Witchcraft is all about cemetery superstition, beliefs, and folklore. There's information about the way Slavs bury their dead, about mourning rituals, about funeral etiquette. It's probably about a third of the book, but I'm not going to include any information or read any excerpts just because I think I've already provided plenty of information. I've shown you what kind of caliber this book is. So again, if you are interested, I would like you to maybe purchase it and read it for yourself. So that's it. That concludes this book review. Please let me know what you think of this book. Do you want more books of this genre? Also, I'm pretty sure someone is going to ask. My crown is from Nox Aurum. If you like it, I will leave a link to their Etsy store in the description section. But that's it for today. Thank you very much for stopping by, and maybe I will see you next time.